Hello, Collective, Wendy Joy, Love and Light. What I've realized these days is that when you give up control, when you take your finger off of the pulse of everything that's going on around you, it can be um, elevating and it can be debilitating. And to find the happy medium in between takes some inner knowing and use of your intuition, where when things are said or done or portrayed in a certain manner, and you know that it's just not right, and you don't say anything, you don't make a scene, if you will, like stating your position, your place, and knowing that you're right and that they're wrong, can lead to issues down the line. And this is where my realization came into full play. Part of my spiritual journey was to learn how to give up total control over every aspect of my life and allow the ebb and the flow of natural life to infiltrate and not micromanage every aspect. However, when you give part of your power away and you know you're giving it to the divine and you're following the journey that is being laid out before you, there may be other things on that journey that you have more control over than what you believe. And giving up complete control over everything could actually hurt and harm your progress. And I've recognized that in my own timeline. I gave up a lot of control over everything that I was managing, like micromanaging, not realizing that there were only certain aspects that I should just let control of, that I should have listened and responded to my intuition sooner rather than later, and maybe it wouldn't have put me in this position I am today. But it's okay because it was a learning lesson. It helped me to be able to identify what is truly for me to control and what is on my divine path, and allowing things to happen or to unfold as they were supposed to, by allowing faith to interject in one aspect or another of whatever the journey is that you're walking upon or working with, if you will. And I realized that I can't control everything. There are things that are outside of my reach, and those things that are outside of my reach, I have faith and believe that the divine is guiding me to my highest good, and my higher consciousness is leading me in a loving space to embrace what I cannot control to what I can control. And that may not be my health, like, yes, it is, but no, it isn't. I always follow a healthy regimen within my lifestyle. I watch what I eat. I watch what I do. I make sure I put movement into my position, into my lifestyle, with everything that I do. And this happened to me. This was outside of my control. So this I need to believe that was sent to me on my path so that I could learn, grow, and evolve into a better version of me, understanding that the balance between control, actively participating in it, and allowing the ebb and the flow of energy and life and faith and belief is two separate roads, but they could intertwine. So I let go of some of the things that I was controlling, like the destinies or the lifestyle or the ability to set clear boundaries with everyone, even the ones that I love and endear, so that I don't take their advantage away from them to learn, to grow, and evolve through their own mistakes or mishaps. Like, that part was divinely sent to me to let go of, to allow other people to be able to recognize their struggle and seek a higher guidance or a spiritual outlook in order to incorporate the spiritual side of their life with their physical life here on earth. And that, I felt in the beginning, was me abandoning. But it turned out that it wasn't. That when I allowed the people that I love the most to figure out their own issues and just give encouragement and, remind them of their worth and their power, that was divinely guided to me to allow, to release, and to provide evolution for everyone around me without having to control their destiny, not fully knowing whether or not they would be able to handle it on their own or not. That was the faith part. The books that I wrote was also faith-based, where I should put my messages out and let everybody know that they all have power and that they have the ability to control the multitude of many aspects within their own lives. And that's where my book journey fell apart, because the company that I paired with wasn't as transparent as I was, and didn't say that they were only selling parts of aspects of the whole publishing process, and then, continued the drip of money saying, you invested this much, but this is as far as you're going to get, which is only a quarter of what you thought you paid for. And we designed it that way so that you would not know what it was that it was going to completely cost, and that we had the ability, the publishing company, to continue to soak you, scam you, and mislead you. And my intuition kept saying, there's an issue here, there's an issue here. And every time I opened my mouth to say something, I was told that I was caught in a corner and that there was pretty much nothing I could do but just continue to go forward and provide to them the resources, not knowing that it wasn't for complete projects, that it was only for partial projects, but it was the full amount charged. And then when I continued to give resistance, they kept switching my teams and making me start from the beginning all over again, which was very frustrating, which was definitely an eye-opener. And at that point, I figured that they weren't lying to me as much as they were misleading me through false illusions, which pretty much is the same thing. But they categorized it as I didn't know what the business was about, and I wasn't fully prepared educationally in order to micromanage what they were doing, because I was trying to heal my body from multiple sclerosis, and I did a very good job of that. I was able to relieve the symptoms that created the multiple sclerosis, and I was able to start enhancing and regenerating and fixing my inner temple in order to progress from a debilitating issue. And as my mind started to clear and the fog was lifted and the deception was quite clear to me, another individual came up to me and said, you have more power than what, you believe. They're still misleading you and misguiding you. And they're still telling you things that on one level isn't right, but yet you feel kind of trapped. And I was like, exactly. And then it was said to me, Well, you can always dispute all the charges, paid from the beginning to the end with your bank. And you could say that it was a scamming, that it was services not provided, that it was proper contracts not presented, that there was no signatures across any dotted line, and that because of their deception and their misguidance and their continual scamming efforts to obtain the maximum amount of revenue with giving the minimum amount of service or no service at all, or the time frame just kept extending and extending and extending, believing that I would just give up and take the loss and just live with it. But that's not what's happening, because I am clear-minded enough to know that there's been many different injustices over this entire project, and I have started the dispute with my bank, and they're going to go after the company that, pretended to be my partner, equal partner, where I was told about services they provided, and I agreed with them, and they were to do them. But the services that they did not match the information I was originally given. The time frames were completely extended, and the work was very minimal compared to what I paid. And there were so many different holes, especially when they charged me a multitude of times in order to have plugins on my website. Those things were supposed to be there right from the beginning, and it was part of the design, but yet they used it as add-ons and extras. So not only did they scam me, did they steal from me under false pretenses, but they also yelled at me and tried to threaten me and make me feel guilty. And none of those things actually worked. It just made me more mad, more determined, more solution-based in order to figure out a doable position I could play and still come out, even. Maybe not winning, but not losing either. So I'm not quite sure where my books stand today, except what I thought I paid for, which was supposed to be my intellectual property legally, right? Only to find out that the copyrights that I thought I purchased on my products that I created, they're non-existent. So that doesn't look good for me. So that's another disconnect. So, and maybe that was a deliberate tact on their end, maybe it wasn't. I'm not exactly sure. But what I do know is that there's deception and manipulation around every aspect of the endeavor that I tried to create, the legacy that I want to leave behind, and not just for me or for my kin, but for all of humanity everywhere. Because what I do believe, what actually feels right and resonates within my energy, is sharing my journey, sharing my insights and my experiences, offering inspiration and encouragement, and showing that when you believe in you, that you can go as far as you choose to go. And the potential is off the charts, and the possibilities are endless. When you believe that you are the creator of your destiny, sometimes your roads might get mixed up with other individuals that may have different agendas that you may not see clearly in the beginning, but you will figure it out as the journey goes forward if the partnerships that you have are not really meant for you. So I'm starting from square zero all over again, and I'm trying to recoup the money that I invested in a company that misled me and misguided me. and pretty much scammed money from me by telling me that, you're only in halfway. You're only there a quarter of the way. And then, you have to do more, 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 more. When I started the project, I allocated a certain amount of funds, and it shouldn't have exceeded that, but it did by double. And then on top of that, they just continue, they're still fighting with me. I gave them every opportunity to right the wrong and to fix the issue by refunding me the money that I paid for projects that weren't serviced properly or weren't serviced at all. And with the misguiding information, it made it very hard to see unless you really knew what you were doing. And as I started to get healthier and my mind started to get clearer, I was able to put the pieces together in a more comprehensive way. And when I sent them emails telling them I don't want to talk to them anymore, I don't have to. I just not satisfied. Nothing was done in the transparency it was said that it was supposed to. And the scamming methods that you use with miscommunication and misaligned movement isn't helping me to my benefit. It's hurting me and it's putting me further behind. And if this company wanted to increase their reach through my efforts, they didn't actually do a great job at all, because there wasn't any forward movement with the endeavor that I thought I was partnering with a good team with. Turns out that people are greedy, and they seem to obtain their money or their position or their power by misleading other people or pulling the wool over your eyes, so to speak, and then trying to beat you down with their tactics that may have worked in the past on you or on other people, because it did work on me for a short period of time. This has been a 2-year endeavor, and where I stand right now is in a hole, but I'm climbing out of it, and I'm taking control into my own power, and I'm starting with a dispute of the funds that I paid, and then I'll migrate over to a lawyer and see what a lawyer can do for me. And while I'm doing all of this, I'm still healing, although I did have a setback. And they said that all of the stress that was laid upon me and everything that, I was fighting to regain control over, and with their techniques of manipulation, that I suffered a stroke. Now, my labs didn't really show it was a stroke, but my whole movements and my mannerism reflects that in its entirety. So what I'm doing now is not only back to square zero with the writing and the books and getting my message out, although my message has been very strong over the last 2 years with YouTube and Facebook, because those are the 2 channels that I post on regularly, that I have the ability to see past the deception and pick out the points of value from the lessons that I learned, and I can apply them into my future endeavors. And now I know that there is not one company anywhere that has my has my back, we'll say. That in order for me to proceed, the divine is encouraging me. My nose is just being tickled with that feather continually throughout this whole read so far. But I now need to know how to publish my own book. So I'm going to republish my books, and I'm going to do that without anyone else. And I'm going to learn how to do that, and I'm going to get that out there. And then I'm going to open up another new website, and I'm going to make it the way I want it, not the way they say I had to have it. And I'm not going to rely on outside influences to give me a footpath or a lift up, if you will, like they stated I needed. And they kept saying that it was going to be more money for that. And then when they told me that I would be able, like I went with Tom Arnold, right? So Tom Arnold made a video for me, except that video they said was supposed to go to his followers, but it didn't. And it was never going to. So when you pay for a celebrity shout out, that celebrity shout out doesn't give that shout out to their following to increase your reach. They don't give it to any following at all. They just made a video and put it on my website. And then that was it. And that was because I already noticed that his reach, his video, didn't meet his masses. They didn't even meet my masses. That they just put that video on a platform without any notoriety behind it, which left me another disconnect, because what they said I should receive, I did not get. So services paid but not really received in the manner in which they were noted to be. And then with the news coverage and stuff like that, I have to go to my own, I have to do that on my own, because that also didn't pan out. So not only did I pay to have my books published, a website to, have everybody come to in order to find my material easily, right? And offer secure payment, so you didn't have to go to Amazon and feel comfortable, leaving your cash with me on my website. And those were the plugins that were never properly finished or never actually engaged, which was crazy because I paid money for that. And then I was told that I had to go with Amazon. Amazon is a greedy third-party affiliate, and they wanted 65% of everything that I earned. And then they told me that if I wanted them to promote me or to house me, I had to pay for international sales. And I wasn't ready to pay for international sales because that was a huge expense. Yet they forced me to do that by saying Amazon would drop me. And that turned out to be misleading information as well. And I only found that out just recently. So there's a whole lot of pieces that I could have stopped the roller coaster of, but I was unaware at the time because I didn't know much about the publishing company, the publishing in a whole, rather. I just know how to write. I can write, and I can write very well. And I can get my point across with love and with compassion and with inspiration and encouragement. What I write makes you think. It doesn't just give you a story, it interjects you into the story. So you could see how you might be able to have handled the situation if it were presented to you through the insights or my experiences from past things that have happened to me. And pretty much everything has happened to me across my life. And now, between all the physical things that could have gone wrong and did, now it's health related that could go wrong that has. So autoimmune, which is because of the environmental poisons, because of all the things that they seed into the air, the water, and the land, by taking away the minerals that our body needs in order to survive, in order to thrive, and by stripping the water of all the minerals and the vitamins that naturally reside there, and then by interjecting plastics into our temples through the air, through our food, through our clothes, through containers, through leaching. The list goes on and on and on. So it's easy because of all the poisons that are being seeded, because people want to have control over others and they want to earn money while they do it. So they took away all the natural products that actually enhance us and keep us healthy and replaced them with chemical-based items that they could sell and profit from. So we get sick and die, and they get richer and stronger because they don't consume the same things that we do. I'm pretty much guaranteed of that. And then, on top of all of it, the stress and the hardship that all of these toxins do to your body can affect your heart, can affect everything that goes on within your mechanical inner structure, like your energetic mechanical structure, if you will, because we're all energy. And because of the vitamins and minerals that we need in order to rejuvenate and enhance and protect our physical temple, and because of all the bad things that they're doing to us, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, stealing energy, through anxiety, aggravation, stress, annoyance. They can't really steal energy from love and compassion. They can only steal it when it's used negatively, when you react and not respond. So now I realize that none of this will happen to me again because I am actively responding and I am not reacting to all the poisons that are around me or even in me still. I have a homeopathic regimen that I'm looking toward in order to increase all the things that my body needs and that's been lacking, to strengthen my structure, to enhance my mind thought, to increase my energetic field. You could do this too. It's just a matter of being mindful about what you consume and how you consume it, what you wear and how you wear it, meaning like clothes, shoes, hair products, face products, anything, even toothpaste, because all of these things that they say, can't hurt you, are hurting you. And I guess I should be happy that I haven't really purchased anything in quite a while, that the majority of clothes that I own, I've had for, quite a while, which means that the likelihood of toxins being so concentrated in what I'm actually wearing isn't as strong as if I were to buy something new off the shelf today, because things that are there new today within like the last year, 2 years, 3 years, they've been saturated 1 million times over with all of these forever plastics that are very hard to get out of your body, that does damage, that clogs you up from the inside out, that helps all of these radicals attach and form and create the structure for them to survive, but for you to not. Because they don't really care if we live or if we die. They actually want us to die. So they're helping us on their own mindset, like in their own way, to weed out the herds, I guess, or thin out the herds, if you will, by having less people to dominate and control and having more of an ability to squash someone. If there was 100,000 people and they got rid of 90,000 people, then those 10,000 people that are left may be more willing to follow what they say so that they don't get squashed out too. But what kind of life is that? That's no life for you. That's no life for me. All that means is that the hierarchy still has control. It's still dominating and still suppressing and still hurting and still misleading and still misguiding people. And we have to put a stop to that. And we can't wait for the oligarch to get elected out because they're everywhere. There's an oligarch in every structure within this presence we call life. So whether it's city or state or country, or if it's just head of household, or if it's business, however the other may be affecting you, because everybody's situation is different. Not everybody is in the same position, but everybody will receive the same detriment if nobody does anything. So let's all get together and truly focus on love and light and compassion, not just for humanity, but for the earth as well, for the elements, and for all of the fairies and the angels and the masses of high energy, that they have the ability to reach us and guide us without having to worry about a negative energy trying to cloak or conceal or, use their illusion techniques in order to misguide. So let's kick the negative out by making a firm commitment to each of us, to ourselves first, that we choose individually and collectively to work as an interconnected team to create unity and love and compassion and light and positive forward movement. Not just for one, but for everyone that has the wantingness and the desire to go as far as they can in a positive upward manner. That evolution, growth, insight, and experience is tools that are gained in order to propel each one of us into the position that we were always meant to carry. Not everybody is a trailblazer, but someone has to be. So I know that I'm putting everything that I realize, everything I remember, and everything that I've learned the value of to everyone everywhere, to give everyone an equal opportunity in order to uplift their own lives, and then through extension, uplift the lives of everybody around through your positive, loving forward motion, where you choose to respond and not react, where you choose to embrace love and light, not hate and dark, where you choose to find the medium, the happy balance, the harmony that lives within us when we let go of what we are being divinely guided to go, whether it's a mindset, a position, a place, or a circumstance, and to take control of everything that we can provide direction to through our intuition and our inner knowing. Staying true to who we are, not allowing another individual or entity to shake that knowing by presenting false illusions, feeling that maybe you're trapped or you're stuck. Because at some point I did feel trapped and stuck, and I did feel that it was a $50,000 learning lesson. And it was a hard one to swallow. And I didn't want to swallow it completely. I wanted justice. I desire justice. I desire the balance and the harmony between working evenly with partnerships in order to find successful, uplifting solutions, and the ability to share them with everyone, everywhere, without hesitation, limitation, or the disruption of a message. I know that it may seem like a big circle, but it's not. It's just listen to your intuition and heed your inner knowing. And when you do this, then you won't be so far misled, because there'll be a piece of you that recognizes the disruption within the natural ebb and flow, and, will show you where you need to focus and apply more control, or take control, or head the situation in the direction in which you would like it to go, because you're being divinely guided, because your intuition is on spot, because your inner knowing is sharp. And this takes time to distinguish between the two, because your ego could be, the part of you that's being attacked, and maybe you might want to take a position of fight or flight, but that's not it either. You're not asked to fight, and you're not asked to fly. You're asked to take control. You're asked to allow what you can handle, and to know the difference between what you should let other people learn for themselves. And that's what I needed to discover, the balance between the two. And not just letting everything go to someone else's control, but being the force behind my control, and not allowing my boundaries to be saturated or infiltrated by the negativity or the misjudgment, willingly being sent, knowing that they're part of a suppressing, dominating position within your life, whether you invited it willingly or not. Sometimes things just have a way of presenting their true form when they get comfortable. So I see that too. And I recognize and remember, and I actually do comprehend that my self-boundaries include what I know I can control and what I am divinely guided to release. And that brings me to another position. My whole existence is going to be shifting, because my daughter and her children are going to be coming back here to help me out financially and to help themselves out stability-wise. So there's an equal balance that will be shaping, where one hand equally helps the other hand, and together both hands can clasp and form a united bond that will strengthen the structure of not only her family unit, but also enhance my financial structure, allowing me the ability to not have to worry so much about how I'm going to keep my bills paid until I'm able to stay actively on my feet, where my balance and my structure has been restored, renewed, and returned to me, where not only is my upper body strength, enhanced and becoming more of what it used to be before all of this occurred to me, but now I can feel that the strength in my body is beginning to respond positively, and what was once a hardship is becoming easier every day, in order to migrate through. Little tiny steps lead to great, huge leaps of faith when you know when to take them and when to let divine balance just fill your way. Listen to your intuition and recognize your inner knowing and don't doubt it. And don't put all of your faith in another party because you don't have all the answers. Research and figure them out because that's where I am right now. So right now I have to figure out how to publish my own books and how to rebuild or enhance a website that was always geared to me to be beneficial and solution-based, not a tactic made to hold me in place. I've released those chains and I set them down. And I freed myself from a traumatic situation that was taking my positive energy and trying to twist it around. So I've always kept control of how I present myself to other people. I have never really grouped up a whole category of people and said that every one of those people, because they're similar in ways, should be judged all the same way, because that's not true either. I don't judge you or me for things that Billy Bob or Sally Sue may have done. I don't even judge Billy Bob or Sally Sue. I just offer them healing and, enlightenment and the ability to recognize and remember their own inner divinity and right their wrongs so that they could restructure their path and be a positive attribute to everybody, everywhere, humanity on a whole. When we all do this, then we'll see that the consciousness will shift and that more things will come easier that we strive to achieve when we work with positive, loving, compassionate light. My lovely collective, no matter where you are today, I am always sending you insight and experiences, and I am always offering love and light through compassion and inspiration and encouragement with a no judgment type view, because I've never judged you negatively because of how another person may have treated me or whatever situation could have befallen before me, good, bad, or indifferent. Everybody is unique and individualized, and we are all worthy, we are all special, we are all needed, we are all interconnected, united pieces of the tapestry of humanity, where we incarnated here to recognize, learn, and gain the value of how to migrate through a 3D existence while being spiritual essences able to penetrate dimensions, galaxies, and positions that we once never considered possible. But we all have this power. Some people call it astral traveling. Other people call it meditation. Strong meditation where you bring yourself into a new timeline, a new way of thinking, a new world of perception. And we all have this ability. It's just, have we recognized it yet within our own selves? And I'm here to help every single one of you as I sit here and help myself as well. To remember the better parts of what life is, and then migrate in that direction, and then bring the light and the glory and the love to everyone around us so that they too can experience the best parts of what being a spiritual essence in a human form can bring when you honor and have balance and harmony within, between, through, and from, and of it all. It's really not so hard. It's a choice. And it's the motivation and determination to continue to choose love and light, to choose growth and elevation, to choose comprehension by broadening and rising your perception and your vibration. I'm here to help everyone. Even though that all of this is going on in my life right now, I still have tons of room and lots of time to be able to focus on your situation, to feel your energy, and to share with you what comes to me when we speak. My lovely collective, whatever you do today, I am always offering you the natural ebb and flow of living life, loving it with compassion and empathy, not only for yourself, but for all the other energies around you. And when you come across someone that needs healing or energy that lost touch of the light, just send them healing, loving energy. That's all you can do. You don't have to sit there, dwell there, or entertain it. Just think clearly with your intentions and then send it toward that individual, and you would have made an impact. They may not realize it, but eventually that impact will land within their circle, and they'll have the ability to pick it up or to ignore it. At that point, you've already done what you needed to do. You shared your love and your light through your compassion and your intent. And if they've not yet learned that they should pick it up and carry it and share it, whether it be this life or maybe the next life, they will certainly realize and remember. And when it's their time, they'll shine bright too. We can't make anyone, we can't choose for them. That's where faith comes into play. I had learned that too. That's why they say, I guess, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? And that concept is true with everything and everyone and everywhere. Because if you do it for them, then they'll never learn. If they refuse to do it for themselves, then they'll never learn until they're ready and they're willing to accept the love and the encouragement that the divine is providing through signs, symbols, and synchronicities, through sensations, that gut feeling. So wherever you may be on your track, your journey in life, your particular place on your path, you're never alone. Your spirit team is always with you, and I am always sending encouraging energy toward you because I believe in you and I see your worth and I know that your potential is off the chart. It's a matter of whether or not you see it, you realize it, or you're ready to remember your inner divinity and your light, your light essence that lives within you. My lovely collective, my speech is getting better, but it's still a little bit choppy. I'm working on that. Positive energy from me to you, from you to me, from our spirit teams, ancestors, archangels, and ascended masters, our guardian angels, and our tribe of light essence, and our tribe members of the light essence family are all around you. They're all around me. They're around everyone, waiting to be recognized and seen. So as you migrate through your life, don't forget to say thank you and send your gratitude toward all the heavenly angels, essences, fairies, and positive entities that are cheering you on and leading you toward your light. I say thank you to them every single day, and not from this realm, but from beyond this realm, from where we come from, where everything is wholeness, fullness, completeness, where there's lack of nothing and mounds of loving energy everywhere. I remember that space. That space lives within me. I've never disconnected from that space. And I feel the warmth and the love and the encouragement every moment of every day, regardless of what may come past me on my journey any specific